Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel Dear Mathematics, and also welcome to the chapter of definite integration. In the previous video we have just started the definite integration topic. There we have seen the definition of definite integration and some of the basic problems based upon the definite integration. And today in this particular session we are going to discuss about the evaluation of definite integration by using the substitution method. And this substitution method we have already used it in the part of differentiation and as well as in the part of indefinite integration. But here we are going to discuss about the substitution method in the topic of definite integration. So let us discuss about them. What is the procedure to apply the substitution method in the topic of definite integration? So here it is the evaluation of definite integrals by substitution method. Consider the integral. I have taken a definite integration is here, in which case we can use the method of substitution. And the function is like this, f of g of x, that means a function of a function, and here it is the differential of g of x, that means g dash x dx. This type of integrals can be solved only by the substitution method. If the variable is in a definite integral, if the variable in a definite integral is changed, that means if this variable will be changed, what is the variable? Here the variable is x. And if it is changed to another variable, suppose we have changed it to a t function, t variable, then the substitution in terms of new variable is effected at three places. If we are trying to change the variable what is present in the function of a function and we have to apply the substitution method, then three effects will be changed. And what are the effects? One is in the integrand, that means this integrand total will be changed to the new variable. Then in the differential, that means dx will be changed to the new variable. Suppose I have taken it is t, then it will be converted into sum of the dt. Then in the limit, that means there exist two limits, the one is lower limit, another is upper limit. That means the lower limit will be changed and the upper limit will be changed. So let us discuss about them. What are the newly changes in the three cases? So first of all, let us consider g of x. This, suppose I have taken this g of x as t, then g dash x dx it is dt. G dash x dx it is dt. First of all, we have taken the g of x as, or we have assumed that g of x is equal to t, then g dash x dx is equal to dt. Then we have to change the lower limit as well as the upper limit by putting the value of x is equal to a, then t will be g of a. And when x is equal to, because these are the values of x, this is the value of x. So whenever we will put x is equal to a in the value of in the function g of x, then t will be g of a. When if x is equal to b, then t is equal to g of v. Then the newly formed definite integral is now equation 1 becomes, I is equal to, in place of a we have to write down g of a because it is the value of t, and here it is g of v, it is again the value of t, but it is not written here. These are the lower limit and upper limit. Then we have to put g of x as t, that means it is f of t. Then in place of g dash x dx we have to write down dt. So it is the newly formed definite integral, and we have to solve it by using the general procedures of indefinite integration. Okay, so these are the basic procedures to solve the definite integration by substitution method. Let us discuss about some of the problems based upon this substitution method. This is the example number 1, and we have to evaluate the definite integral of e to the power x by 2 with respect to x from 0 to 2. Then let us consider, let x by 2 is equal to t, then dx is equal to dx 1 by 2 dx, it is dt, then dx is equal to 2 dt. If x is equal to 0, if x is equal to 0, because the lower limit is 0, so first of all we have to consider x is equal to 0. So whenever x is equal to 0, then t is equal to 0. If x is equal to 2, then by putting this value here, 2 by 2, it is 1. That means t is equal to 1. And then we have to put these values of t, then x by 2, dx, lower limit, upper limit, and we have to put these 4 values here. So it is the interval from the lower limit 0 to 1, because we have get the new lower limit and newly upper limit 0 to 1, then e to the power t, and in place of dx we have to write down 2 dt. Then carrying this constant towards the outside of the integral sign, it will be 0 to 1 e to the power t dt to e to the power t, from 0 to 1 e to the power 1 minus e to the power 0. Then it is 2 multiplied with e minus e to the power 0, it is 1, and it is the complete solution or answer of the example number 1. Then we have to move forward to some of the basic problems, rest of the basic problems based upon the substitution method. So here it is the example number 2. So first of all, let us divide a 2 and multiply a 2, and then we have to go for the substitution method. Then taking the denominator part as t, substituting the denominator, let x square plus 1 as t, then it will be 2x dx is dt. Then we have to convert, or we have to change the lower limits as for the new variable t. So when x is equal to 2, then t is equal to 5. Then the upper limit is 4. So when x is equal to 4, by putting 4 here, 4 square 16 plus 1 17, then t is equal to 17. Then we have to put the appropriate values, and by substituting we have to find out the integral. 1 upon 2, it is from 5 to 17, 1 upon t dt. It is 1 upon 2. Okay, the integral, the value of the 1 upon t, it is log modulus of t from 5 to 17. Then it is 1 by 2 log 17 minus log 5. Then it is 1 by 2 log 17 divided by 5. As we know that this is the answer, because by using the properties of logarithm, we know that log m minus log n, it is log m by n. So by using this property, we can find out this answer. It is the example number 2. Then moving towards to the example number 3. Example number 3. And we have to find out the integral of cos inverse x with respect to x from 0 to 1. First of all, let us go through the substitution part. Let cos inverse x is equal to t. Then x is equal to cos t. Then dx is equal to, differentiating both sides, it is minus sin t dt. Then we have to change the upper limit and lower limit. When x is equal to 0, then t is equal to pi by 2. When x is equal to, then the upper limit is 1, then t is equal to, it is 0. Because if x is equal to 0, that means cos inverse 0. The value of a cos inverse 0, it is pi by 2. Because we know that cos pi by 2 is equal to 0. Similarly, cos 0 is equal to 1. So cos inverse 1 is equal to 0. Then we have to put these values here. It is from pi by 2 to 0, and here in place of cos inverse x, okay, let us consider this integral as I. Pi by 2 to 0, it is t. In place of dx, we can write down minus sin t dt. Then it is minus pi by 2 to 0, it is t sin t dt. Then I will become 0 to pi by 2 t sin t. So here it comes. How the lower limit got to the upper limit and how the upper limit came to the lower limit. Because there exists a property of definite integration, and I will teach you in the next video, and that is, and it will be, if there exists a negative sign outside of the integral and we have to remove it, then we have to just interchange the lower limit and the upper limit. That means the upper limit will be changed to the lower limit, the lower limit will be changed to the upper limit, and then in that case only this negative sign will become a positive sign. So this property is applied here so that the negative sign is removed. So here it is the equation number 1. Then we have to just find out the integral of a t sin t with respect to t. Now, integral of a t sin t dt, and here it is the function is in the form of the Euler formula. So we have to take the consideration of Euler, and here it is the algebraic function, it is the trigonometric function. So the first function is t and the second function is sin t. So by using the by parts method here, we can have t integral of sin t dt minus derivative of t into integral of sin t with respect to dt, and then integral of their whole multiplication. That means it is minus t cos t, then it is minus derivative of t with respect to t, it is 1, it is minus cos t dt. Then it is minus t cos t, minus into minus, it is plus integral of a cos t with respect to t. Then it is minus t cos t plus sin t. And now we have to put these values here in the equation number 1. So putting these values in equation number 1, we can have putting the above values in equation 1, we have I is equal to, it is t sin t dt, and we have to put these values here in place of the integral. Then it is minus t cos t plus sin t from 0 to pi by 2. Then by putting these values here, minus pi by 2 cos pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2 minus 0 multiplied with the cos 0 plus sin 0. Then it is minus pi by 2 cos pi by 2, it is 0 plus 1 minus, it is 0. So the result is 1, and here it is the complete answer of this problem. The definite integration of cos inverse x with respect to x from 0 to 1. Then let us move first to the another problem. Then example number 4, integral of sin inverse x with respect to x from 0 to 1. Let us consider this integral as I. Then first of all we have to go for the substitution method. Let sin inverse x as t then x is equal to sin t, then dx is equal to cos t dt. Then we have to change the lower limits and upper limits according to the new variable t. When x is equal to 0, then t is equal to, it is again 0 because sin 0 is 0. When x is equal to 1, then t is equal to pi by 2 because sin pi by 2 is 1. Then we have to put these values here. So it will be from 0 to pi by 2, and it is in place of sin inverse x, it is t. In place of dx, it is cos t dt. And here it is the equation number 1. Then we have to find out the integral of just t cos t with respect to dt. In the case of indefinite integration, then we have to again go through the definite integration. Now, integral of t cos t with respect to dt. Here first function is t, the second function is cos t. So by using the by parts method, here it is t integral of cos t with respect to dt minus derivative of t multiplied with integral of cos t with respect to t, and then integral of their multiplication, it is t sin t minus integral of sin t with respect to t. Then it is t sin t minus integral of sin t, it is minus cos t, that means it is plus cos t. So by putting this above value in the equation number 1, by putting the above value in equation 1, we have, so here I will be, because I is 0 to pi by 2, it is t multiplied with the cos t dt. So by putting these values here, it will be t sin t plus cos t from 0, and here it is 2 pi by 2. Then you have to solve it. So just putting these values here, I will be pi by 2 sin pi by 2 plus cos pi by 2. Then we have to put the lower limit minus 0 multiplied with sin 0 plus cos 0. Then it is pi by 2 multiplied with 1 plus 0 minus, it is 0 plus 1. Just to simplify, we can get the answer pi by 2 minus 1, and here it is the value of I, and it is the complete answer. So it is the complete answer of the example number 4. Then let us move towards some of the other problems based upon this fundamental topic. So here it is the problem number 5. So first of all, let us substitute this. The current variable is x here. Let x is equal to t square, then dx will be 2t dt. After this, we have to change the lower limits as per the new variable. So when x is equal to 0, then t is equal to 0 again. When x is equal to 4, that means t square is 4, that means t is 2, then t is 2. And we have to put this in this integral. It will be from 0 to 2 now, then it is 1 of 1 t square plus t, and it in place of dx we can write down 2t dt. Now from 0 to 2, by taking a t common from the denominator, we have t plus 1, it is 2t dt, then cancelling both t's here, it will be 2 multiplied with 0 to 2, 1 of 1 t plus 1 dt, and here it is 2. log modulus of t plus 1, but from the lower limit 0 to upper limit 2. Now first of all we have to put these values here. That means it is 2 log 3 minus putting 0 here. We are getting log 1. But you know that log 1 is 0. So it is 2 log 3 minus 0. That means it is 2 log 3. And here it is the complete answer of the example number 5. Then moving towards to the example number 6. So here it is the example number 6, and let us consider it as I. Let I is equal to this much. So first of all let us go for the substitution method. Let sin x is equal to t, then cos x dx is equal to dt. Then we have to change the upper limits and lower limits as per the new variable here. When x is equal to 0, then t is equal to again 0 because sin 0 is 0. When x is equal to pi by 2, then t is equal to sin pi by 2, it is 1. Okay. So by putting these substitutions here, 0 to 1, it is 1 of 1, t plus 1 multiplied with t plus 2 dt. It is 0 to 1. 1 upon t plus 1 minus 1 upon t plus 2. Just we have separated and simplified these steps. Then just integrating both 1 upon t plus 1 and 1 upon t plus 2, we can have log t plus 1 minus log t plus 2 from 0 to 1. It is log t plus 1 divided by t plus 2 from 0 to 1. Then just putting these values here. First of all we have to put the upper limit, that means 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 2, so it is 2 by 3. Then minus, then we have to put the lower limit here, log 0 plus 1, that means 1 divided by 0 plus 2, it is 2. So log 2 by 3 minus log 1 by 2. Again moving towards to the or applying the properties of logarithm, we can have it is log 2 by 3 divided by 1 by 2, and it is log 4 by 3. And here it is the answer for the example number 6. Then moving towards to the example number 7. Then moving towards to the example number 7. Let us consider x as a cos theta. Then dx will be minus a sin theta d theta. So here is dx, but we have to change again the upper limits and as per the lower limits. So when x is equal to minus a, then theta is equal to, when x is equal to minus a, then x is equal to a cos theta. So when x is equal to minus a is equal to a cos theta. That means it is minus 1 is equal to cos theta. A got cancelled from both sides, so it is minus 1. That means the value of a theta minus 1 is equal to cos of pi. That means theta is equal to pi. Similarly, when x is equal to a, then theta is equal to x, again x is equal to a cos theta, a is equal to a cos theta, cancelling both, here 1 is equal to cos theta, and we know that cos 0 is equal to cos theta, that means theta is equal to 0 degree here, so it is 0. So by putting these values here, it will be 5 to 0 a minus a cos theta divided by a plus a cos theta, its square root. In place of dx we can put minus a sin theta d theta. then it will be minus pi to 0, 1 minus cos theta, taking again a common from the denominator, it is 1 plus cos theta, it is a sin theta d theta, and here it is the square root, cancelling both a's here. As you know that I have already told in some while ago, if there exists a negative sign in the definite integral, to convert it into the positive, just we have to interchange the intervals in between them. That means we have to take, or we have to put the lower limit in place of upper limit and upper limit in place of the lower limit, so that the negative sign will be removed and it will become a positive. So by applying this, here just we have to convert, we have to interchange their position. That means it will be from 0 to pi, and the value of 1 minus cos theta, it is 2 sin square theta by 2. 1 plus cos theta, it is 2 cos square theta by 2, and its square root, and here it is a sin two multiplied with theta by 2, because we know that sin 2 theta is equal to 2 sin theta into cos theta, and sin theta is equal to 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. So here I have put it in the form of a sin 2 theta. Okay, here you can also write down a multiplied with, okay, let us take the common a from towards the left hand side, then it will be 2 sin theta by 2 multiplied with cos theta by 2 d theta. Then cancelling both 2's here, it is a from 0 to pi, then sin square theta by 2 cos square theta by 2, it is sin theta by 2 divided by cos theta by 2, and here it is 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2 d theta. Now cancelling both cos theta by 2 here, what we are getting here, it is a multiplied with integral of 0 to pi 2 sin theta by 2, it is 2 sin square theta by 2, and its integral with respect to theta. But we know that if 1 minus cos 2 theta, it is 2 sin square theta, then 1 minus cos theta, it is 2 sin square theta by 2. And by using this formula here, 1 minus cos theta d theta, then just we have to integrate the integrand here, then we have our answer. A integral of 1, it is theta, minus integral of cos theta, it is sin theta, and from 0 to pi, then it is a pi minus sin pi, then putting the value of 0 here, minus 0 minus sin 0, so here a pi minus 0, and again these are zeros here, so it is a pi. So the answer is here a pi, and here it is the complete answer, and it is very important problem for your board exam. Then let us move towards the last problem of this current video session. So here it is the example number 8. So first of all, go through the substitution method. Let cos x is equal to t, then it is minus sin x dx, it is dt. That means sin x dx, it is minus dt. When x is equal to 0, then t is equal to x is equal to 0. That means cos x is equal to t. That means cos 0, it is t. That means it is cos 0, it is 1. when x is equal to 5 by 2, then t is equal to 0. So by putting these values here from 1 to 0, it is 1 upon 1 plus t square minus dt. Then taking this negative sign towards the outside, we have 1 to 0, 1 upon 1 plus t square with respect to t. Then by using the same property of the definite integration, if there exists a negative sign in the definite integration, to convert it into the positive sign, just we have to interchange the position of the lower limit and as well as the upper limits. So it will be, if it is negative a to b, then it is positive from b to a. So by applying this fundamental property of definite integration here, we have, it will be from 0 to 1, 1 upon 1 plus t square with respect to t. And integral of 1 upon 1 plus t square, it is tan inverse t from 0 to 1. So it is tan inverse 1 minus tan inverse 0. So it is 5 by 4 minus 0, it is 5 by 4, and it is the complete solution of the example number 8. So in this session we have discussed about the evaluation of definite integrals by using the substitution methods, and here we have solved all as well as several problems based upon the substitution method. In the next video we are going to discuss about the properties of definite integration. Till then, thank you.